Hello, my name's Diana Wind, dietitian, here to present you my secondary research study. I did a study to find out if there was a relationship between ethnicity and sugar-sweetened beverage consumption with prediabetes in youth ages 12 to 19 living in the United States. We'll talk about the background, diabetes trends in youth, the objectives, the study design, the participants, my logic model, categorical variables, and the results and the implications of this research. Diabetes in adolescents is increasing at an alarming level, especially in racial and ethnic minorities. Youth with type 2 is projected to increase from over 20,000 in 2010 to over 30,000 by 2050. Preventing prediabetes in youth is critical to preventing the progression to type 2, which is much worse in youth than it is in adults. This graph shows you the unfortunate upward trend of diabetes in youth under age 20. According to the CDC, diabetes is linked with kidney disease, eye disease, nerve damage, stroke, and it possesses a major clinical and public health burden. The rate of new cases increased in the US between 2002 and 2015, and by 4.8% increase per year for type 2 and a 1.9% increase per year for type 1, as reported in the February 14, 2020 issue of CDC's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. This is one of my favorite graphs. I use it often when I'm showing families where prediabetes falls or where diabetes falls. And prediabetes is above 5.7 A1C and less than 6.5 A1C. It's the same scale that we use for adults that we're using in youth, although the Diabetes Association is suggesting that these guidelines may change as they do further research on the hormones in adolescents that may have an effect on their A1C. Obesity and lifestyle are modifiable risk factors. Sugar-sweetened beverages, as we know, are linked with obesity and prediabetes. And the studies for prevention and treatment of prediabetes in adults are very established, but they're lacking for adolescents, which is why I chose to contribute to the body of research and address the gap in the literature with this research study. The US Preventative Services Task Force is aware that prediabetes prevention and treatment guidelines are lacking for children and adolescents. Duke N found that 1 in 4 youth drink sugar-sweetened beverages daily. I included her research in this report because she noted that there are downward trends in soda consumption and other sugary drinks are being preferred by adolescents, such as sports drinks and energy drinks. So that is a limitation of this study, is that the focus was primarily on soft drinks and not on these other contributing added sugar beverages. Another researcher group found that there's a growing trend for prediabetes in children, with a prevalence jumping from 0.93% to 10.66%, which is a dramatic increase in prediabetes in kids. I'm seeing a shocking number of new cases coming in to see me. I have had children as young as age 4 and age 6, and it is quite concerning. The aims of my study were to examine the relationships between sugar-sweetened beverages, mainly soft drinks, and prediabetes in adolescents, and to determine if prediabetes risk is higher among ethnic minority youth who drink the sugary drinks. IRB review was not required. Descriptive statistics showed mean standard deviation and frequencies. The study was 15 weeks, and it analyzed the data, quantitative data from 2009-2010 National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, NHANES data. Formative and summative evaluation plans were provided to the prospective stakeholders, and the NHANES data sets included demographics, dietary, and questionnaire interview data. This shows the diversity of the population that was studied. The most participants were non-Hispanic white, 34%, followed by Mexican Americans, 27%, non-Hispanic Black, 22%, other Hispanic, 11%, and other multiracial at 7%. The logic model shows that what I did to prepare and conduct this study, I imported the NHANES data. I cleaned the data and analyzed it using Stata software, wrote out and reporting to you at this conference the results that I found. This just is a diagram that shows you some of the relationships that were in this study. The findings were N 1,339 adolescents with a mean age of 15. As shown, the race and ethnicity frequency was diverse. Only 1%, 14 people out of 1,306 were told that they had prediabetes, which at first was a surprise, but then I remembered that, well, most people don't know that they have prediabetes. In fact, the CDC tells us that 80% of people don't know they have prediabetes. There was a statistically significant association between race, ethnicity, and prediabetes in a one-tailed test. P was less than 0.05. And there was not a statistically significant association between the consumption of soft drinks and prediabetes in a one-tailed test. P equaled 0.508. I used the Fisher's exact test as opposed to chi-squared because some of my groups being analyzed had less than 5 participants. This pie chart just shows how often the adolescents drink soft drinks, which was very often, every day, every week, and every month. And this pie chart shows the sliver of teens that responded to the question, have you ever been told you have prediabetes? Only 1% responded yes, and the majority of them were Mexican American or other Hispanic. So in conclusion, healthcare providers should be culturally sensitive to race and ethnicity in their nutrition care plans for adolescent prediabetes. Future studies may benefit using theory and, as we talked about earlier, analysis of added sugars from beverages other than just soft drinks, such as sweet tea, juice, energy, and sports drinks. And the data collected will enable healthcare team members to develop targeted nutrition interventions to help bridge the gap for minorities who were disproportionately at a higher risk for insulin resistance and type 2. Thank you so much for your attention, and I look forward to any comments or feedback that you can provide. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again. These are just some of the references that I used in the study.